a sealed tomb, a broken people, and a silence so heavy that it feels like the whole world is holding its breath. Season 6 of The Chosen is about to carry us through the darkest hours in history, only to lead us to the moment that will change everything, the resurrection. But before that dawn comes, the story plunges deep into betrayal, suffering, and the crushing weight of loss. This is not just the next chapter of the series. This is the turning point, where despair and hope collide, and where every tear shed is preparing us for the most powerful ending ever told. The story begins not with victory, but with silence. The disciples, once filled with dreams of a kingdom, now hide in fear. The man they believed would never fall has been taken from them. The garden that once echoed with prayers now lingers in their minds as the place of betrayal. The kiss from Judas was not just a signal to the soldiers, it was the moment their world collapsed. And as torches faded into the night, their hearts were left in shadows. Season 6 opens at this breaking point. The betrayal has already cut deep, but the wounds only grow sharper as Jesus is led before his enemies. The Sanhedrin trial is a storm of voices, accusations thrown like stones, and every word twisted to condemn an innocent man. The council wants blood, and in their minds, they will not stop until the threat of Jesus is erased forever. Behind closed doors, deals are struck, alliances are made, and the fate of one man becomes the currency of political power. But this season does not only show us the power games of leaders, it reveals the raw humanity of those who walked closest with him. Peter, once bold enough to draw a sword, now trembles in the shadows. His heart burns with loyalty, yet fear pulls him away. When a servant girl's voice breaks the night, "You were with him?" Peter's denial slices through the silence like a knife. Once, twice, 3 times, until the crow of a rooster seals his shame. His eyes fill with tears as he remembers the words Jesus had spoken. The leader of the disciples is broken, his courage shattered. Mary, the mother who once held him as a child, now trembles with every whisper of his suffering. Her faith is unshaken, but her heart aches beyond words. John stays close, his eyes never leaving the man he calls teacher, friend, and Lord. Matthew, the tax collector turned follower, records not numbers this time, but memories of pain etched into his mind forever. Each disciple carries the weight differently, yet all of them are crushed beneath the same unbearable truth. Their master is now in the hands of his enemies. Even Judas, the one who set this path in motion, cannot escape the torment. The silver coins clink in his pouch like chains binding him to regret. His calm face in the garden has vanished, replaced by a soul collapsing under the price of betrayal. The season dares us to look at him not just as the betrayer, but as a man who chose wrong and found no escape from the consequences. Every step he takes is heavier, every thought darker, until despair itself consumes him. As the trials unfold, the Roman governor Pilate enters the story. He is a man used to power, used to reading people, and yet when he looks at Jesus, he sees something different. This prisoner does not plead, does not beg, does not crumble under threats. Instead, he speaks of kingdoms not of this world, words that unsettle even a ruler of Rome. Pilate knows this man is no criminal, but the cries of the crowd and the pressure of the priests weigh heavily on him. One wrong choice could ignite the city into flames, and so caught between justice and politics, Pilate makes a decision that history will never forget. Season 6 pulls us into this tension, making every whisper of the crowd and every strike of the lash feel unbearably real. The weight of injustice presses down on the story, but beneath it, something else stirs. Every false testimony, every denial, every insult is not leading to defeat. It is leading to the moment Jesus spoke of long before. The disciples cannot see it yet. The world cannot see it yet, but the road to the cross is not the end. It is the beginning of something far greater. By the close of the first part of this season, the silence will feel suffocating, the despair unbearable. Jesus will be handed over to Rome, his fate sealed by the voices of those who demanded his death. The disciples, scattered and fearful, will seem broken beyond repair. And yet, for those who watch, the suspense is not just in the tragedy, it is in the knowing. Knowing that this story is not finished. Knowing that the silence of the tomb will not last forever. The streets of Jerusalem stir with restless energy. Rumors spread like wildfire. Jesus of Nazareth has been handed to the Romans. Soldiers march him through narrow alleys, their armor clinking with every step, while crowds press in to catch a glimpse of the man who has shaken the city. Some shout in anger, others watch in silence, and a few smile with cruel satisfaction. But beneath the noise, there is a strange undercurrent of fear, for even those who despise him cannot forget the darkness that fell over the city during his arrest. Pilate studies him carefully, searching for guilt, for defiance, for anything to justify the demands of the priests. But instead of fear or outrage, he sees only calm, a composure unlike any prisoner he has ever faced. The words Jesus speaks linger like riddles. "My kingdom is not of this world." Pilate is unsettled. He finds no crime worthy of death, yet the voices outside grow louder, echoing like a storm gathering force. The priests press harder, accusing, demanding, threatening. They whisper the one phrase Pilate cannot ignore: "If you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar." For Pilate, politics is a blade sharper than any sword. To be seen as weak, to be seen as disloyal, would mean ruin. And so, though his conscience resists, the weight of power and fear bends his will. He sends Jesus to Herod, hoping for an escape. But Herod, curious for a miracle, mocks him when none are performed. Jesus is beaten, clothed in a faded robe, crowned with thorns, and sent back to Pilate like a cruel game passed between rulers. Blood trickles down his face, yet his eyes remain steady, unbroken, unshaken. Pilate offers one final chance. The custom allows for the release of a prisoner during the Passover feast. The choice is simple: Jesus, a man who healed the sick and taught peace, or Barabbas, a known criminal. Yet the cries of the crowd rise like a wave crashing against stone. "Barabbas! Barabbas!" Pilate's voice trembles with frustration. "Then what shall I do with Jesus?" The answer strikes like thunder: "Crucify him!" The governor washes his hands in water, declaring innocence. But everyone knows the truth. His hands may be clean of water, but they are stained with the weight of this choice. The soldiers take Jesus away, preparing him for the road to Golgotha. And here the story deepens, not only in brutality, but in unbearable humanity. Jesus carries the heavy beam of the cross on shoulders already torn by whips. Each step is a battle against exhaustion, against pain, against the weight of the world pressing down on him. The road is lined with people. Some jeer, others weep, many simply stare. Mary walks near, her tears falling silently, her heart breaking as she remembers the child she once cradled. John follows close, never looking away, his own strength drawn from loyalty alone. When Jesus stumbles, unable to rise, a man named Simon of Cyrene is forced to carry the cross. At first, he is just a stranger pulled from the crowd, but as the beam presses on his back, he realizes the burden is more than wood. It is something unseen, something eternal. And in that moment, he shares in a weight that no man should bear, yet only one man can truly carry. Along the way, women weep openly for him. Even in his agony, Jesus pauses to speak. "Do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." His words carry prophecy, warning, and love, all mingled into one breath of strength. Even in suffering, his heart beats for others. Finally, Golgotha rises before them, a barren hill marked by death. The soldiers work with cold precision, their hands practiced, their hearts hardened. The crowd gathers, restless and eager, as Jesus is nailed to the cross. The hammer strikes, the sound echoing into the sky, each blow tearing not just flesh, but the hearts of those who love him. The cross is raised high, dropping into its place with a sickening thud, and above his head a sign reads, "Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews." The hours that follow are heavy with mockery, with whispers, with disbelief. Some laugh, daring him to come down. Others shake their heads, muttering, "He saved others, but he cannot save himself." Yet even from the cross, his words pierce through the air with meaning. To the thief who believes, he promises paradise. To his mother and to John, he gives them to one another as family. And to his Father in heaven, he prays for those who mock and strike him. "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." But as the sun climbs high, something shifts. Darkness spreads across the land at midday, swallowing the light. The earth trembles beneath the weight of the moment. Whispers ripple through the crowd. This is no ordinary execution. Soldiers exchange uneasy glances, their hands trembling on their weapons. Creation itself seems to cry out, as if all of heaven and earth know what is coming. And then, with his final breath, Jesus declares the words that echo through eternity, "It is finished." The ground shakes violently, rocks split open, and in the temple, the curtain is torn from top to bottom. A Roman centurion, eyes wide with awe, whispers the truth that can no longer be denied. Surely, this was the Son of God. The silence that follows is not peace. It is grief. It is shock. It is the hollow emptiness of loss. The man who healed the blind, who calmed storms, who raised the dead, now hangs lifeless on the cross. His head bows, his body still. And in that moment, the disciples' hope seems buried with him. But for us, the viewers, the suspense grows deeper, because we know that the story is not finished. The silence of death is only the pause before a greater sound, the sound of life returning. But the resurrection is not just an ending, it is the beginning of everything. It is the moment that will forever divide time and history. In Season 6, the disciples will not only witness the impossible, they will be called to live it. The silence of grief will be shattered by a stone rolling away, and their despair will be replaced with a hope that no power on earth can destroy. The trailer hints at this transformation, showing us faces marked by sorrow, soon to be touched by light. The journey from darkness to glory is coming, and it will change not only the characters we love, but also every viewer who follows their path. The resurrection will test the faith of each disciple in a way they have never experienced before. Doubt will creep in for some. Others will feel fear that the Romans will crush them next. And still, a few will stand firm, ready to carry the truth into the world no matter the cost. Season 6 will show us these raw emotions, the human side of those who became the pillars of faith. Peter, still haunted by his denial, will wrestle with shame and the question of whether he is worthy of forgiveness. Mary Magdalene, who once lived in darkness, will find herself clinging to the promise of new life. Thomas, known for doubt, will face the moment that defines him forever. These stories will not only unfold with intensity, but they will also echo within us, reminding us of our own struggles to believe when hope seems lost. Yet, even in this season of uncertainty, a powerful truth will rise. The resurrection will not be shown as a distant miracle, but as a living reality that changes everything. The Chosen has always brought us closer to the humanity of Jesus and his followers, and in Season 6, it will draw us into the heartbeat of their transformation. The moment when despair collides with divine power will not just be a scene, it will be a turning point that redefines the entire series. For the disciples, it will mean courage in the face of death. For us, it will mean hope in the face of every struggle we carry. The trailer teases not only the empty tomb, but the fire that follows. With the resurrection comes the command to go into the world, to spread the truth no matter the danger. The disciples will soon face trials that test their loyalty beyond anything they endured before. The same men who hid in fear will rise in boldness, ready to stand before rulers and kings, ready to risk everything for the message they now carry. And while Season 6 centers on the resurrection, it also points forward to the mission that will shape the future. The question that lingers is not whether they will believe, it is how they will act on that belief once the impossible becomes real. For viewers, the power of Season 6 lies in its ability to make this ancient story feel alive today. The pain, the doubt, the silence, and the victory, every emotion is delivered in a way that feels personal. The trailer doesn't just give us glimpses of scenes, it gives us glimpses of ourselves, of our fears, our struggles, and our hopes, reflected in the lives of the disciples. The resurrection is not just their story, it is the story of humanity, and in this season, we are all invited to step inside it. The Chosen Season 6 promises to be more than just entertainment. It is shaping up to be a deeply moving experience that will leave audiences holding their breath, their hearts stirred, and their faith challenged. The trailer gives us only a taste, but already, the anticipation is overwhelming. As we wait for the release, one thing is certain: this season will carry us from the shadow of the cross to the triumph of the resurrection, and nothing will ever be the same again. The Chosen Season 6 is not just another chapter, it is the heartbeat of everything that has come before. The sacrifices, the betrayals, the miracles, and the moments of raw faith have all led us here. And now, with the shadow of the cross drawing near, the story steps into its most powerful stage yet. But even in the darkest hours, we know this is not the end. The resurrection awaits, and with it, a hope that can never be silenced. As we look forward to what's coming, one truth becomes clear. This season will change everything we thought we knew about The Chosen. The journey of faith, love, and redemption is about to reach its highest point, and you will not want to miss a single second of it. The question is no longer if these events will shake us. It is how deeply they will. And when the stone rolls away, when light breaks through the darkness, the world of The Chosen will never be the same again. So, hold on. The story is about to rise beyond imagination. The resurrection is not just coming, it is already written.